Hey y'all, welcome to another edition of your Austin Real Estate Minutes. I'm Kristen Scudder, realtor here in the Austin area with Horizon Realty, and in this week's video, we cover the importance of filing your homestead exemption to save you money on your property taxes annually. All right guys, so we have another video about the ever important property taxes. I'll put a link below in a video that I did previously that discussed what property taxes are, what they pay for, and why they are important for you to know, especially when you're a state of Texas resident. But in this week's video, we're covering the homestead exemption. Now, the homestead exemption is basically an exemption that saves you a portion of money on the property taxes that you pay annually into the county or your city. So it's super important because it's free, and again, it saves you money on the property taxes that you pay annually. All right, so we've covered why we care about the homestead exemption, and we've covered what a homestead exemption is. So when do you file your homestead exemption? You file your homestead exemption January 1st up until April 30th of every calendar year. Therefore, you have plenty of time to file, about 4 months. Now, the catch with the homestead exemption is you actually only need to file it one time when you become the new homeowner of that particular home that you've purchased. So again, remember, filing happens from January 1st to April 30th. All right, so there are 3 elements that you need to know about that qualify you for a homestead exemption. Number 1, it has to be your primary residence. Therefore, you can only apply a homestead exemption to one residence in the state of Texas, and it has to be the residence that you basically spend the majority of your time in. Number 2, it can only be filed by an individual, meaning that a corporation or an LLC cannot file for a homestead exemption. It has to be an actual individual that owns the home. It also can be filed in a condominium, a townhome, a single-family residence, a manufactured home, as well as acreage up to 20 acres. And lastly, probably the most important qualification of being able to file your homestead exemption is that you have to be the homeowner of that new home January 1st of that year. So the perfect example of this is, let's say you purchased a home January 20th of 2020. Therefore, you would not be able to file your homestead exemption until January 1st of 2021. So that's kind of how it works. So even if you purchased your home from January 2nd, 2020, all the way into December 30th of 2020, you will not be allowed to file your homestead exemption for that particular property. But come January 1st, 2021, you will be eligible to file your homestead exemption for that property. So those are the 3 to 4 qualifications that make you eligible to file for a homestead exemption here in the state of Texas. All right, so we've covered what a homestead exemption is, we've covered when you file, as well as what makes you qualified for it. Let's cover a good example of how much property taxes it can actually save you in the course of a year. So let's take an example that's commonly used by Travis County. Let's take your assessed value, and we'll conveniently say it's $100,000. And therefore, if you file a homestead exemption, that taxable value drops from $100,000 down to $75,000 that the county can actually tax your home. Therefore, it saves you about $25,000 of taxable value that they can no longer tax you of because this is your homestead exemption. So again, it does save you a little bit of money on your property taxes, and it is absolutely worth filing because any money saved is more money in your pocket. All right, last but certainly not least is, how do you file? A lot of you might receive notices in the mail of, hey, look at me, I can file your homestead exemption for $25, or pay me $50 to file with the county. Don't fall for any of that mail scam that you get, because a homestead exemption is free for you to file. All you're going to do is go to the county website that your property resides in. So therefore, here in Austin, more than likely it would be Travis County. You go to the Travis County Homestead Exemption website, and you can literally file online. Or you can print out that homestead exemption, fill it out, as well as provide a copy of your driver's license and mail that in to the Travis County Homestead Exemption, mailing office, and that's essentially how you put a homestead exemption on your home. Now, the catch with this is that your driver's license address has to reflect the address that you are requesting your homestead exemption on. So again, if you purchase this particular property January 1st of 2021 and you're filing here at the beginning of February 2021, you're going to want to make sure that you've updated that address on your driver's license to reflect your new primary residence, and that's how they verify that you in fact are calling that home your primary residence. And that is how you file a homestead exemption. Alright guys, well I hope you all found that interesting and maybe learned something and why you all should have a homestead exemption filed on your home. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments to me about a homestead exemption or property taxes, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'm also going to put a link to a previous video that I did that's kind of like a property taxes 101 that goes through the ins and outs of the state of Texas property taxes. And then lastly, I'll put links to the 5 counties that surround the Austin area to help kind of point you in the right direction to ensuring that your homestead exemption gets filed this year. All right, and again, if you found this video helpful and you're interested in getting videos about all things real estate, but more particularly the Austin, Texas area, hit that subscribe button. I'll be publishing a video weekly and I'd love to see you guys here. But until then, thanks so much. Have a wonderful rest of your week and take care, guys.